moving into bracket play. Obviously, we have FaZe Clan and Sentinels here on stream as round one, but there's a lot of hype matches in this round one. It was a tough one to pick, but I mean, we haven't seen FaZe on the broadcast so far today, and this Sentinels roster with their new pickup, I mean, this is an exciting opportunity for Lethal to have another chance at vengeance on FaZe, and for Sentinels to really gain some momentum, some much needed momentum going into the next LAN.
Yeah, I feel like this is the first time that we're gonna see the test, right? The true test for Sentinels. Can you compete with one of the S tier teams of Halo Infinite, right? The Optic Gamings, the FaZe Clans, they are on a different level. And with your new player, the new addition in Suspector, although he has the makings of an all-star in this game, he hasn't quite been able to find the results he wants in the HCS. And now you have a chance to upset one of the best teams in Halo's history. I think a lot of people saw this as a god squad, right? Saw this team not losing events. Optic has been a Goliath to deal with, but this feels like the team that was made to beat that roster. And now Sentinels has to find a way to win against this giant. Suspector going to be the first player to get some damage down. King Nick able to get the kill. We're on Oddball. Expect to see a long game ahead of us, and Renegade not gonna be able to stay alive, but those rockets able to find the opening pick. Snakebite works in his back lane, and now Ball gonna be going towards FaZe in the opening moment.
Kills across the board, but as this series gets underway, I do want to have an opportunity to really break down the opportunity for Suspector here on this Sentinels team. Suspector's jumped teams a few times here in Halo Infinite. His Halo 5 stint was pretty similar in that same sense, never really finding a home with a set group of 4 players. And this is one of those players that when you watch his screen, you can see the talent. He's already 4-1-2 in this game. He gets kills, hits his shots. He's like he has got a complementary play style to teammates. Like, he can do it all. But why hasn't his teams ever had the success that you're really hoping that he's able to have with the play style that he provides, the gameplay that he's able to put on? That's the big question for me, and I think that he's going to benefit this Sentinels team with a little bit of patience and a little bit of like cohesiveness here. Collect has a ton of individual skill and raw talent, and people are probably looking at that change like, is Suspector better than Collect as an individual player? I mean, that's an argument that's like kind of arbitrary to individuals and how they perceive good Halo to be. But for me, I think Suspector can bring a lot of chemistry to this needed Sentinels roster. And already after the first moments of this game one in this series, Suspector having some phenomenal impact on this game, getting that ball to his team. The slays are true, and this game's fairly close to keep it at the start, and that's what you need if you're Sentinels fans.
Right, Suspector's gonna be that player that's battling it out with the top slayers of every roster. This time, though, it feels like it might be a task that is the greatest, right? Renegade on the other side, keeping up slay for slay, putting up 8 in this early game. Really expect to see Suspector and Renegade be going at it, and we'll keep an eye on those stats as time progresses. But look at FaZe with this ball in hand and how fast they're playing forward. Frosty wants to get more kills on board as he's behind everyone, getting the damage down range, but the Sentinels players just aren't falling.
Good job to get rid of what was a strong setup from FaZe. An aggressive Frosty kind of caught off out of play right there. They do pick up the kill on the Lethal and Courtyard, but all the other action happens over towards shotgun side of the map. Frosty not able to impact that, and with that, Sentinels find themselves a couple of kills and the ball in hand with the setup of their own now.
Yeah, Frosty and Royal 2, though, look at this immediate answer, finding 2 kills, and now King Nick and Suspector have a ton of work ahead of them as the rest of FaZe are starting to fly forward. Takes the head, Frosty keeps the ball in the back of base. Suspector, the newest kid on the block, is gonna have to stay alive and wait for the team push to come. But with Royal 2 on the hunt, you have to feel as if danger's in the in the future. Just a tough position for Sentinels to break into, and Royal 2 is going to make it that much harder. He's flying forward, using that shroud screen to stay alive for a bit longer, frying out, but his former teammate is able to get the trade, but it leaves Spartan by himself, and he's not going to be able to get towards this ball in time. FaZe is just starting to run away with this score.
Yeah, it's the staggered respawn of Sparty the first time that kind of comes back to bite Sentinels, because they have to try and push in a 3v4, or else a lot of time's going to be accumulated on the side of FaZe Clan. And unfortunately, because they're a man down, the trades, they're good, but they're not great. They're not good enough to break the setup of FaZe. And with that, you're seeing a 32-point differential in the score. And now Royal 2 has won the battle for Rockets as well. So when it rains, it pours, and Sentinels in this round 1 have exhausted a lot of their win conditions so far.
Renegade has the Rockets to work with, and although that ball is towards Sentinels, I don't think they feel comfortable enough to pick this up. Surprisingly slow from FaZe. Well, what is keeping them at bay right now? You have Rockets to play forward clutch.
They just want to play slow. They know that they're in a very powerful position. The ball is neutralized. The time is going down. Everything's in their favor. They don't have to force anything, and I love the fact that they're able to slow it down and recognize that. And still, I mean, they're able to get the ball in due time. These Rockets still in the hands of Renegades or Lethal. You know he's going to put them to use eventually. And right now, Sentinels are forced to try and make a play.
Yeah, but these Rockets have been up forever, it feels like. Finally, the first one rings out. It doesn't even get the kill, but the rest of FaZe is there to pick up too. Sparty, he's being hunted, and Spartan, he somehow stays alive. He gets behind him, somehow finds Frosty. Renegade wasn't able to finish his food, and it comes back to haunt him. FaZe seeing a 4 down.
Yeah, Sparty plays that just about as slow as possible. And in the meantime, FaZe were able to accumulate another 30 points, putting this to 81-30 at the point of the break. Sentinels do a good job to, I guess, extend round 1 longer than what it would have been if they were able to get a couple more kills. But now they have to play near perfect Halo in order to come back in this round 1.
We're already knocking on the doors. Royal 2 trying to find King Nick. He's going to stay back for the time being, but all it takes is one pick, and FaZe is going to start to run through to the home base. Frosty tries to hunt down Spartan. Rockets in 5 seconds to come up, with Sentinel seeing the respawn screen. They're able to get a good bit of time, but it might not matter. The nades are coming through. Damage is in. Frosty gets the kill. Lethal, the last alive in the back of the base. As Frosty starts to go on this hunt, the ball out in open position. You have to feel that this is a critical moment for Sentinels.
It's a critical moment for both teams, I would say. 59 points for Sentinels, so they were able to make this game within striking distance. It's, what, 22 at this point? If Sentinels get a couple of slays, they're going to be in a good position, and Suspector gives them those couple of slays, tries to extend a little bit of space towards Royal 2, can't get the kill, but it gets traded out. Unfortunately, the ball resetting is going to make it very difficult for Sentinels to obtain, and those slays mean less than they would have if they were able to control that ball after those impactful kills from Suspector. But unfortunately, the entire map looks like it's about to reset, and FaZe look like they're going to have an advantage with the time in hand.
Frosty playing forward onto that ball, and Suspector, the new player, might make the difference. The drop shield keeps Nick alive, and Sentinels, it's not done until it's done. They're able to get this ball. 38 seconds on the game clock, but now just 20 seconds separating both these teams. Lethal, this forward player, looking to take off the front players of FaZe, but FaZe, it's going to be a struggle to get forward. Lethal working with his teammate. They find the first. Suspector not going to be able to get Snakebite, but King Nick comes in for the clutch cleanup. Just 10 seconds separating both of these teams, and it's a brawl at the back of A. You have to keep in mind that the game time's going to play an impact. You only have so much time to find these slays.
19 seconds and counting, like you're saying. 10 points separate the two, but the kills have to come through before you can get that ball. Unfortunately, trades across the board on both sides is not going to benefit Sentinels, and in fact, it's the last player alive, Sparty, that has an opportunity to try and make a play. He can't, and that's going to be round 1 going in FaZe Clan's favor.
Yeah, just running out of time in that game. It felt like Sentinels had a real chance at the end, but a couple slays that don't go in their favor. And suddenly we're going into round 2 with an advantage for FaZe. And it feels like those games, you can never throw them away against FaZe. When you have a chance to win against a team like FaZe, you have to do your best to pull through. Lethal with the Rockets is going to go 1 for 2. The assist on the second as well, as this ball gets pushed forward. But Suspector with the shotgun is going to be able to get the kill, and FaZe 4 down.
I mean, take a look at Suspector's stats right now. 18, 4, and 9. He ended the round one at 16, 4, 9 with 56 seconds of ball time, giving Sentinels so much firepower. So any argument as far as what his impact on the Sentinels roster is going to be, hopefully he showed us just a little sample of that there in round one. Phenomenal job by him. Now just a little bit more needs to get done in order to win rounds against this FaZe team.
King Nick trying to fly onto this flank, spawned across the map, and is trying to pick up the pieces for Sentinels. The spike grenade's not going to answer home, and he's going to get this ball and push it back towards his team. The nade comes in, but it's not enough for the kills to fall in favor of Sentinels. Royal 2, the last alive at the back of B, and now ball going to be looking to stay in the favor of FaZe.
FaZe have another setup. This time it's going to be in cafe side of the map right now, and you need to find the first pick. I believe Frosty's the first one to go down, and that's the key to try and get a good push here. I love this play by King Nick. The bottom mid push is so underrated. He creates a lot of space, and now it's up to the rest of his team to try and break this setup.
Are they there in time? Suspector's going to be able to get to this ball, but Royal 2 able to somehow get the damage down, and Frosty's here for the trade. They're able to find the first pick, but the other players, the Sentinels, are not going to be able to get towards this ball because of that impact play from Royal 2. Frustrating moments from Sentinels that keep stacking up.
Yeah, it's just the kill's not coming in at the right time, but
oh, what a nade.
You have to hope that that changes. What a nade. To take down lethal, just give FaZe numbers. And I mean, when you're dying and stuff like that, Tools, it's just so difficult to try and get any kind of momentum going as a team, as an individual, and especially as rockets are coming up. You don't come up before that. That's a tough pill to swallow, and right now it looks like you're gonna have to swallow a rocket as well.
Might be a second one for lethal that lays in wait. Snakebite gonna give up his life. Renegade with the trade out, and now Sentinels struggling to stay forward on this map as FaZe is looking to steal this ball away. Suspector gets a PD spawn, and Suspector goes flying forward. He's gonna try to get into the action, but Renegade cuts him down right away. This ball is looking to rotate out for Sentinels, but Frosty was there on the flank ready for that ball, pushes it immediately away. King Nick trying to salvage something, getting the shots down range, but the kill just won't come.
Yeah, unfortunately, King Nick just didn't have any teammates there to try and capitalize on some of the damage. Frosty with the perfect rotation of the oddball, while also just being a difficult kill right there, just allowed so much pressure, just put so much pressure on Sentinels to try and take him down before a significant lead is once again built in FaZe's favor. And look at that, it's climbing to over 20.
Big shots from Snakebite. He's ready to take the fight. Then shots come from the back, but FaZe stays alive, able to keep this ball. And now time for Sentinels looking to be a precious resource. They need to maintain as much as they can. And Renegade flies through the middle of the map. Frosty rotates it into the back, and Renegade, he's not done yet. Getting damage down onto Nick. This ball secure for FaZe.
Ball taken.
Great rotations coming out of FaZe here. Now, can Sentinels break this setup is the question. You're seeing how aggressive Snakebite wants to be, and you're always continuously seeing that out of FaZe. So someone trying to go rogue, create space, and it's paying out dividends here for FaZe as Snakebite picks up the triple. Knows where lethal is, wants the over, but the rockets are also going to go into their favor, and you have to think that this is how FaZe end this game one.
Yeah, I mean, this is now staggered respawn for the side of Sentinels, and Renegade is a monster to deal with. He finally gets taken down, but Royal 2 is looking to pick up the pieces. Suspector sees the respawn, and now Sentinels have one more push, one more chance to break out this ball. But Royal 2, he stays pushing forward. His stick is constantly moving as he's not standing still for anything. Players from Sentinels continually see the respawn screen, and game one is securely moving into the favor of FaZe.
It was a dominant round two from FaZe. All the control, all the aggression in their favor. Frosty with 114 seconds, and when Frosty's getting ball time, you know it's a good thing for FaZe Clan fans as they're able to comfortably cruise to a 1-0 lead here in this series.
And what do you think about that, Clutch? You know, we saw Renegade get added to this roster. A lot of players were wondering how the roles might change, and that's something that we've seen a lot of, is that Frosty is now, I think they're, other than, you know, I think between him and Snakebite, they've taken over the responsibilities for objective. It's not unusual now to see Frosty, who was their previous main slayer, to be taking up that objective mantle now.
Well, you know, Royal 2 isn't getting the ball and hasn't for about 20 years now. So yeah, in a serious form, actually, it's actually probably best case scenario. I think Frosty, with the smarts that he actually plays the game with, it's such an important piece to have him with the objective a lot of the time, because he sees everything. He understands rotations. He understands dropping and slaying. Like, at a very high level, Frosty like understands every decision that he's making with the objective, when it should be played, where it should be going. I think it's a perfect solution to the quarrels that this team has had with their oddball gameplay, going back to even times with Lethal, where I don't really feel like they were a strong oddball roster. Now, a lot of that has fallen on Snakebite's shoulders throughout time, as far as who gets the oddball. So many times, how many times have we seen like Snakebite with over 100+ seconds and nobody like near him? The fact that Frosty's able to pick up some of that slack while also keeping up in the slayings department, I mean, that just shows you the special talent that he is, but more importantly, how this team can evolve and improve and get better at individual modes.
Moving on to the second game, Sentinels need to find a response right away, but FaZe shut them down on the open. Able to get 3 kills, and King Nick, last alive, goes incognito with that camouflage, but Renegade with the early nade cleans it up, and everything is going in favor of FaZe. Renegade able to get the shock rifle, pulls it all the way back towards tower, and just a wonderful start as shots start to ring true for Renegade. He's not done yet to go in, and this is devastating for the side of Sentinels. They just can't stay alive.
Now, this is not how you wanted to start off game 2. In the first 40 seconds, you're down 5. And even worse, Renegade has the shock rifle in hand. This is where it could get ugly. It's a killing spree for Renegade. He's on fire right now. I do not recommend challenging him, and that's what Spartan does. He backs up momentarily. Doesn't quite give him that angle, but unfortunately, the pressure from FaZe just seems to be too much.
Right now, Renegade still playing forward, has yet to die. 6-0 to start this game. It feels like he just can't make a wrong play. Spartan reveals himself for half a second, and well, you have to fear whether it's going to be the shock rifle or the team that comes to finish them. It's one or the other. Lethal finally puts down the reign of terror that Renegade went on, but not before 7 kills came in a row. I mean, that's one of the best starts you can see from an individual player.
Yeah, if you're Sentinels, you need to find a way to slow this game down. You have to play for the next round of power coming up on the map. Camo in 15 seconds would be a phenomenal start to that comeback storyline. You do not want to go down 2-0 in this series, but unfortunately, in order to do so, you're going to have to stabilize, find some map control. Controlling BR is a big step in that. King Nick, now in BR, let's see what he's got for us.
King Nick looking for an opportunity to find the slay. This camouflage is going to be massive for Sentinels. They need to make up some serious ground, and that camouflage is going to be an easy way to do it. Still up, Spartan decide not to burn it right away, leaving the chance for Suspector to get it away. He is gonna be in trouble, and FaZe beautifully bait that camouflage, get the kills, and now are not even done yet, going after their former teammate.
A burn on the camo, I mean, that's perfectly fine if you're FaZe. A phenomenal job by them to make sure Suspector does not get away with that, and unfortunately, Sentinels, they were trying to set up for that camouflage, but the second they don't have the numbers advantage, that's FaZe's opportunity to just fly and make sure they at least take that win condition off the board for Sentinels. And since then, they've been able to pressure the respawners of Sentinels, now making this a 13-kill lead.
2 flies forward. Shock rifle has been consistently in the hands of FaZe. Renegade was able to light up the beginning of the game, and now Royal 2 is on the other side. And it says something about this FaZe team, right, Clutch? You have 3 of the best snipers to ever do it on this team. It feels like anyone can pick up that mantle and snipe for this team.
You have 4 of the best snipers to ever do it. Snakebite, one of the clutchest snipers back in the Reach and H2A days that I knew of. and I competed against, how many times did he get the job done? You just don't ever get to see him really with the power weapons on this team, but I mean, rightfully so, right? How many highlight reels from these individuals have you seen? But at this level, everybody's got to be able to do it. Everybody's got to be able to create opportunities, and unfortunately Sparty's opportunity with that shock rifle, it's removed as Frosty does pick up that double, and that's unfortunate, right? At the second you get that shock rifle, if you're Sparty, you're like, all right, can we just hold some map control and maybe I can hit a couple of shots and make a cut into this lead that they've built. Unfortunately, FaZe is not going to give them that opportunity today.
And Sentinels try to play for this first 2 camos, but it's going to be FaZe that gets away with the first camouflage of the game. And right now, working at a pace that's 2-1 in the side of FaZe. This is a steak dinner written all over it if we keep going at this pace. And with Frosty having this camouflage, he's looking to get behind some valuable players. The duo, Sparty and Nick, too, they see it coming. Frosty has made his way behind one. It's going to be a backsmack for the first. Suspector's next up, but he's not going to go down quite yet. Frosty waiting for the help. Suspector shuts down Frosty. So not as much value as FaZe would like off that camouflage, but it's still a huge mountain to climb for Sentinels.
Yeah, the big thing there is, like, if you're FaZe, you're okay with trading, right? Every single trade you get, you're getting closer to 50. You need 9 more kills. They need 37, or they need 27. Sorry, I'm bad at math. Don't ask me to do this live. But either way, it's like a win condition off the board. Them not having camo is more important than us having camo. So a good aggressive play from FaZe. They trade the kills out. And although Sentinels looked like they played it fairly well, especially from the disadvantageous positions they were in, it's all for naught. At 44-29 now, Sentinels still trying to find an answer.
Yeah, pride's on the line. You got to get past that steak dinner threshold. Just one more kill for Sentinels, and you'll have that off your mind. But FaZe, it feels like it'd be impossible to give up this game at this moment. It's been, I think, a long time since we've seen a comeback of this sort of magnitude in competitive Halo. And eventually, it feels as if FaZe is going to get there. But hey, a 3-4 going down. I always say never. Nothing's secure until you get to that 50th kill.
The one thing I will say is, in moments like this, you can build some confidence to go into game 3 with, right? You can hit some shots, you can outplay your opponents in individual battles, and maybe take away something other than the fact you just got shellacked in game 2.
Oh, they're steadily getting kills at the moment. This is the settles that they need to see early in the game. FaZe, at the pace that they're going, this game might get closer than they're comfortable being at. Just 2 more kills for FaZe to go. Suspector's stayed alive for so long. He's been the main slayer for this team. Lethal. Clutch, how did he? Okay, he didn't get away. I was about to say, how did they almost let Lethal get away?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not getting away, but he did play his life fairly well. 49-38 now, 1 to go. Just a matter of who's it gonna be at this point. And strong performance from everybody on FaZe, but I mean, looking at Snakebite, 14-9-7, those are some strong stats to go away with here. And you know, this series, it's always a little bit personal between these 2 teams, especially with how long they were with the organization of Sentinels, teaming with TJ and Lethal. And this is always going to be one that means something to both of these sides.
Now it feels like FaZe, they're not only trying to go for the win right here, I think they're going for a speed running record. These games have been very fast paced throughout, and well, we're going to strongholds, and this is one of the games that can be over in a moment's notice. The trip cap's so powerful, and FaZe, a well-known team for pushing their advantages at any moment.
Yeah, FaZe is not the kind of team that's going to let you set up and do your thing, right? They're the kind of team that's going to try to be aggressive, win their gunfights, take their advantages, and find and create openings. Honestly, Sentinel's still getting the kinks out. As you see, a lot of the times when they try to slow it down, they're almost too slow to it, or not as cautious as they should be, or ready as they should be for that FaZe push. Situations like these where even when you come out on top, it's moments earlier in the game that have already decided pretty much the outcome of the game. It's just a matter of to what extent is going to be the issue. You want to see Sentinels get some more of the sandbox control in order to like combat the pressure that FaZe is going to display. more camo control, snipes control, coming up on live fire strongholds. Those are going to be the big power points you're going to want to focus on. Overshield, snipe, the heat wave. If Sentinels can do a better job to get those weapons in their players' hands, those power-ups in their players' hands, they're going to stay in this series a game longer. They're going to have more of an opportunity to really compete against a team like FaZe. But if they can't, this is going to be a 3-0.
Right, last time we did see Sentinels down 0-2 in a series was against Optic Gaming, and that's when they came up clutch. They were able to win the first game, so that might be an opportunity for them. Now, in the meantime, we do have our other match. This is a game 1 between G1 and Native Red. You can see it's gone into a round 3, so we're going to sit here for a second. We're going to see how this one comes to fruition for the moment being while we wait for the other game to get on its way. But already a huge back and forth between these teams. Native Red looks to have the advantage as they have just taken the lead and they have ball control. It's going to be up to a last second push for G1 to break this one.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're going to lose suppress before that push even comes through. And now Sab, he's been spotted out trying to find bottom middle. A phenomenal job by Druck to position himself to just create chaos in these moments. 12 seconds to go, ball in hand of Soul Snipe, and the pressure, it's on.
Yeah, feeling the pressure. Wow, great awareness. Soul Snipe able to get the damage down and the kill. Suppress, it's the ball. It's going back in favor of G1 for now, but just 7 seconds needed for Native Red. One break and this one's over as they're trying to find their opportunity, but the kills, they keep going in favor of G1.
Hey, wait a minute now. G1 getting all the kills right now. 3 going down. Manny, last guy alive, able to stick the ball guy, and that's actually a big kill because his teammates coming off respawn are going to have an opportunity at a 3-on-3. If Manny goes down without a kill there, it's going to be so much more difficult to try and push. But Boobadooboo with the Bulldog now has an opportunity to keep his team in this, and Rockets coming up tools are going to be what the difference maker to the end of this game is going to be.
Boobadooboo not quite able to get away with the Rockets. That's going to leave it into the hands of Sab instead. Tolix last alive. Tolix first to respawn in just a few moments, and now 80 seconds has been passed for G1. The Rockets come up with 2 huge kills. A last second opportunity for G1 to steal away this game, and Sab's been leading the charge. 36 kills for his team as they're approaching the late game. Just 4 more seconds and Native Red not going to be able to stop G1 on the comeback. Huge win for G1.
A massive win, and G1 need that win, right, to continue the momentum we saw from pool play to get the job done. Right now, hopping back into the Sentinels FaZe Clan series, it's a 2-0 lead for FaZe. Sentinels desperately needing something to give them some life, and let's see how this game is kicked off. They have control, but unfortunately, Renegade has a sniper.
Oh, Renegade gets behind 2, and well, you can say Renegade almost has 2 snipers, right? With the way that he uses that heat wave, he can dot someone from across the map. Both those power weapons in his hand, he's putting them to work. Renegade has been going off hot starts, and each of these games starts with 5 of these kills.
Even with those kills, though, somehow Sentinels get the sways they need. Lethal gets some great damage done, takes down Renegade, stops a push from FaZe going into B. They keep control of B and C, and they continue to score. They actually have the lead now by 25.
Looking to find a way through, but Sentinels, the defense is just too strong. He's gonna have to back away. Overshield is coming up, and Sentinels FaZe has the better position in this moment, and Renegade shuts down Suspector, and now it's just about FaZe getting their numbers back together, get this Overshield into play, but a sniper's awaiting them both. Sniper out of ammo for now, and you can see FaZe, look at them all getting together clutch.
FaZe patiently trying to figure out a way to break this setup, but Sentinels, I mean, they have what they need. B and C in their hands. They spot Frosty trying to overextend towards the dummy side of the map. You need to play your life a little bit better than that. Lethal doesn't get the help he potentially needed, and now Sentinels' setup is at risk.
Wow, so impressive. Like you said, they waited so long, and now the break's in. They've gotten the capture. They have C. Sparty's trying to get A in the meantime, but Snakebite hiding in the back, working with his long-term duo, Royal 2, to stop this push onto the hill. So Spectre's going to be able to get it in favor of Sentinels, but I don't think it's staying there for long. Royal 2's cleaning up the mess left behind. Lethal goes down, and that phase push, it felt like it took forever, but once it comes in, Clutch, it was so potent.
Yeah, I'm wondering how FaZe actually got control of Overshield and all that mess too. With Sentinels having map control, you would think that they would have been in a good position to try and focus on that Overshield respawning, but not potentially positioned in the correct spots. Allow FaZe to get that Overshield, and that's what really made the difference there on that push that broke the setup of Sentinels. And although they got rid of the trip cap, their lead's starting to dwindle.
Sparty, it's always scary when you see him right in front of you using that little strafe, the left and right. He can make you miss. Renegade comes back with the heat wave. He gave up the sniper in order to get it, and he just comes back and reclaims his prize. He says, I'll get both these weapons once again, and he's gonna start putting them to work. Not the first time in this game that we've seen him with both power weapons in hand. You can see just how effective he is. The next Overshield goes in the hands of Frosty, and Sentinels, they're in trouble.
There's a reason he likes both those weapons, putting them both to use. And they get another Overshield in their hands. Overshield control is something that Sentinels desperately need to figure out a way to do a better job of. And right now, that Overshield starting to cap another hill. It's an AC hold now for FaZe, and the pressure is on Sentinels.
The Sentinels have one more chance to break through C. They are able to get these power weapons, but they have to be able to find the kills as well. Snakebite gonna charge forward.
Jeez.
And he somehow gets away with it. Snakebite. I cannot believe it, Clutch. How do you get away? He takes the sniper shot and still is able to take down his former teammate in Lethal. And now Sentinel's lead that they've had from early on in this game for the first time is in danger.
How long will it take Sentinels to break the setup is my question. We saw FaZe honestly get held off a little bit until Overshield came up and they were able to break a setup. Well, with no Overshield coming up in sight, Sentinels are going to have to figure out a way to break this without an Overshield. And unfortunately, the first push tools, it's not successful. 3 go down immediately. And now the pressure on a trip cap is a very real threat.
Renegade looking to put the dagger in. The contestant comes in. 2 players from Sentinels. The Spectre cleans up 2. He's looking for a 3rd. Frosty sees the respawn screen. Sentinels somehow are able to stabilize, but the job's not done yet. You need to find yourself a second capture, but Renegade's been hiding at the back of B, trying to prevent that one from going through, and Renegade wins the fight on Lethal as the Spectre waited in the back, but he hasn't really been able to pick up anything of importance yet. Trying to hold down these spawns, or our Overshield is on its way. This is a massive grab that Sentinels need to come away with, as you're gonna see a fight. FaZe has control C, Sentinels with A, Overshield's in the middle.
Oh,
Snakebite, he gets the first pick, and look at that shroud screen. The smoke, is it enough?
Oh my God, he didn't pick it up. He didn't drop the second shroud charge, and because of it, he's lost some teammates. Can he get to the Overshield? Snakebite gets it, and Sentinels once again get an Overshield, taking right away from him. Right, so Spectre had set up for so long for that thing, and still can't find a way to get it done. And let's see the damage this Overshield does.
Oh, Frosty got the initial damage. Snakebite's coming to clean it all up. Lethal somehow gets the damage just in time, but he's not going to be able to stay alive. The 2 cap still in favor of FaZe for the time being, and you're starting to see Sentinels change their position. They're looking to get towards this C, but Frosty, he's ready, laying in wait at this top tower. If anyone comes, he's taking ahead. Lethal, the first victim to make Spartan the second. What a shot from Frosty.
The reaction time there is unbelievable. The awareness to even like spot that player as he's taking down Lethal. I mean, I guess he knows that as the stronghold and B is being transferred, that there's got to be somebody in there. He just happens to be on his side. A phenomenal double from Frosty. Keep this BC hold for FaZe Clan, and now the lead, it's up almost over 100, and Sentinels are going to have maybe 1 to 2 good pushes left.
They just haven't been able to get Frosty out of this tower. His range with this sniper is just deadly. Spartan not going to be able to stay alive, and the overshield that's made so impactful into this game is up once again in just 10 seconds. Lethal has to kill Frosty. Able to get that kill for now. Is it enough to save the game for Sentinels? Trip cap in effect.
Okay, trip cap in effect. Can you get your way to overshield's the big question. Unfortunately, Lethal not even looking in that direction. Respawners from FaZe, well, they're on overshield. Snakebite gets another one in his hands, and this could be how FaZe can put a punctuation on this 3-0 series that it's looking like it's going to be. Or can Sentinels stop a push of this overshield and somehow crawl their way back into finishing this one out?
By flying through his overshield, shields making the difference, soaking up so much of this damage. Spartan is eventually gonna go down. I mean, they just haven't been able to deal with Snakebite. The rotation's there at A, but I think FaZe just have a clear rotation, and they want to go fight A, they can, but I think they're just gonna go back towards C, leave Snakebite on the island. Sentinels, look at the numbers that they're sending. It's a last second push. They only have one more chance to get this done.
Yeah, it's a 3v3, a good trade to kick it off, but unfortunately, you got to get the job done. That's not going to happen. 2 go down. You're able to hop into C, but with 10 points, all that FaZe clan needs, you got to play perfect. And unfortunately, FaZe, they're starting to take down players left and right.
Nick has to get into the hill with just 2 seconds left in knee. So when this fight, Frosty gives him an opening go. Nick waiting, expecting another player to come through, but they just had not there in time. Oh, you saw the thought process from Nick, not able to execute it in time, but the trip cap's temporary, the 2 cap lasts. Sentinels not done quite yet. FaZe back on the counterattack. They're gonna make B the point of action. Suspector trying to do his best at the back of base, but the members of FaZe are overwhelming. Lethal's trying to recover from the back end, overextending towards C, but it's a one-on-one. Royal 2 versus Lethal. Sniper is not going to be enough. Lethal playing so smart, able to shoot those grenade pads. It's a trip cap in effect once again. Sentinels making this mixy in the end game.
Someone's got to get to B for Sentinels, though, and with 2 down, Lethal and Sparty coming off respawn. It's up to 2 players. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody's in position, and overshield's coming up. Nobody from FaZe is actually in B right now. They decided to play for that overshield. An interesting decision where that overshield might not matter if you were able to hop into B. The reset comes through, and now all of a sudden, a lot of opportunity here for Sentinels.
Snakebite has this sniper, but it hasn't really gotten any kills, and you're starting to see the pressure towards C. Snakebite, no, he goes down. They're still in this game. Royal 2 with the extra shields. Is it enough? B switching hands right away. They only need 2 more seconds. Suspector just can't get there, and what could have been a miracle story in game 3 is shut down just short. Renegade dropping 24.